Okay, welcome everyone to a very summary episode. This is the summer edition of our podcast. We're in the beautiful magic island of Ibiza in Anastasia's home. And I'm very excited to have this conversation because Anastasia is a very close, dear friend of mine. And over the years, I've seen her grow, transform, light up, and literally glow in every aspect of her life as a friend, as a mother, as a business owner. And she is the founder of Atelier Handmade, which is a Ukrainian based brand, which she started 12 years ago. And today the brand is known for its beautiful linen pieces, which we're wearing. However, the early days and the brand's origins 12 years ago looked very different from what it is today. So, as always, today's conversation is a story about following your gut, major life pivots, and having the courage to follow a path that is not always the expected path. So, welcome, Anastasia.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Very happy we're doing this. So, I want to start all the way back, the very beginning. I don't think many people know this about you, but you actually started in international law. That's what you studied, and then you went into a very different type of company that you have now. You worked in a petroleum company.
Yes, that's right. So I didn't really have back then self-identity as I have now, and I was a good girl, just trying to make my parents happy. And my dad always wanted me to set up high goals, and of course he believes in like a real business and in the whole world structure, and he was thinking it will be a good career for me to study international law, to work in international companies, and I was following this path until I had my first job, and actually my body was just refusing to do that. I was in a very depressed state of mind. I was going to work every morning, 6 a.m., staying there, doing things that were against myself and my values, but I didn't understand why I was so emotionally frustrated and depressed until I understood that it's just not my thing. And I think now looking back, it was my first step to self-growth when I chose myself over all the patterns that were created before, and I went against my dad's will. He cut me off and he didn't speak to me for a year after. It was hard, and I didn't know what I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah, it's not like you had a very clear calling or passion that you were going to pursue.
I just knew that this is not what I wanted to do for sure.
Yeah.
But what exactly that I wanted to do, it was unknown. And when I came to the head of the company and told him that I want to quit, he was like, "Are you okay? Nobody ever quit this company before.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?"
And you didn't know what you were going to do.
And I said, "I'm probably going to go to Paris to seek for inspiration." And I did.
You did.
Yeah, it helped. It was just like a trip on my own, and I spent 2 months just walking around streets, visiting museums, trying to find myself. And and then I came back with understanding that I want to do only something that makes me happy of doing. And it's definitely not international relations.
Yeah, but it sounds like you understood that very young, right? Very early
I was 18.
on. That's crazy. So already at that time you had the courage. I imagine the situation with your parents and your father must have been very difficult to manage.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. He didn't speak to me for a year, as I mentioned, but now he tells me that he's so proud of me that I did it.
Yeah, I guess once he's seen you take the path, stick to it, be right in doing so, then I guess there's also an element of respect that comes out of it. It's just very different from the traditional view that our parents had back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't, when he figured out that I'm doing atelier, and then
Yeah.
back in the days, it wasn't like now, it was like just the beginning. He was so skeptical. He was like, really? That's
Yeah.
what she chose instead of the
Yeah.
path that we were all thinking that she will take because she's smart, she knows how to handle it, and she quit so easily. Like he couldn't understand it in the beginning. But now he does, and he's proud of me. So.
That's beautiful. And what gave you the courage to do it?
I just couldn't do. I just couldn't handle it. I just like I was betraying myself every day, waking up and going to do things that I really didn't like, and that I really did not accept.
Yeah.
You know, about the whole structure, and me belonging to that structure. I was sick of it. You know,
Yeah.
I just couldn't ignore it.
It's crazy because almost every conversation I have on this couch, my couch, there is always a moment where my guest says, my body was not letting me, my body was telling me, it's like you cannot escape it.
Yeah,
At some point your body is literally calling out for your attention, telling you this is not right.
Depression.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why.
Yeah.
Because it looked like I had it all. It's all fine, but I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
So I had to take this step.
Yeah. And then you go to Paris, get your inspiration, come back full of ideas, and you decide to open your atelier.
Actually, it wasn't like ideas. It was just reconnecting with myself and accepting that I went on my own way, despite my parents' will and everything that I was studying for 6 years. It's like I felt stupid in a way, you know. You spend so much time not listening to yourself, and then you end up like when you went too far and you look at yourself and you don't like what you see, and you're like, okay, so what do? I needed this time just to reconnect with myself, to find self-love and convince myself it's gonna be okay. Just you know, let's see what's gonna come, and let's make it happen in the best way, good for you now.
Yeah.
So when I came back to Ukraine, I didn't know what I want to do, but I always was listening to the demand. You know, it's not that I want to create something and make people love it. It was like what people actually need, that I can be useful for them. And that's how I started this new. It wasn't the case back in the days in Ukraine, because we had only fashion brands, or atelier was like, you know, to make your pants shorter.
Like alterations.
Alterations, yeah. You couldn't really make something that you like with the fabric that you prefer, because designers, they would offer you certain patterns and certain fabric, and alterations is only already existing clothes they can change. And I wanted to do something easy for people, you know. They want to, for a good price, find something that's going to match them. Also, I went to London to do my course, a fashion course, to understand how the patterns work, how to match fabrics and all that. And I started, you know, slowly, but then it picked up super fast, because it was exactly what people needed back then. And yeah, I was working actually with clients personally, was one by one, and I was working hard. And first years were paying back quite fast.
And at the time, it was all made to order, no mass production, like everything in the atelier bespoke.
No, never mass production.
Yeah.
Even back then, I believed in timeless pieces. So I would be doing something that I have it in my closet, and I still wear it myself. And I see people doing, like, I didn't want to trap myself and people into fashion trends. So I always was like on a sustainability side, even though it was subconsciously, because back then it was not a thing.
At the time it wasn't a thing. So what did the early days look like in the atelier?
So it was just me and my partner back in the days. I was more on the creative part, she was more on the business part. It was very good synergy, and we started with like one tailor, and we were doing patterns ourselves. And then in a month or two we already had bigger team, 2, 3, and then we were too small for the little place that we rented. And we were growing, expanding, hiring bigger team, and at the time it was a lot, but it was it was organically growing into something that really made sense for our customers and for us. We were super inspired, because when you see a happy client walking away and wearing like the pieces everywhere. I remember I was in Sardinia maybe 2 years after, and I saw a girl in Billionaire Club wearing our piece, and I came to her and I'm like, oh, what are these from? And she goes, oh, it's a not known designer in Ukraine. And I was so proud of myself.
Oh,
like, yes. Yeah, it was fun.
And were there any pieces or items that you were known for? Are there any anecdotes?
Yes. So the first piece that was really like super popular, it's a leather pants. From stretchy leather. So we were buying in Italy Gitois leather, like a stretchy one, that was really making very nice shape. And the price was 3 times less than Helmut Lang or any other brand at the time. So
and made to order.
Yeah.
So you take people's measurements, so it fits.
It's not just fits. You really complement, because every seam on the cut can make your legs longer, thinner, like depending, on. So you have to see the person, and then you adjust, and it just fits perfectly, and they still wearing it.
I love that. I love it when you can still wear something from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember. So fast forward a few years, somewhere along the way, you started to feel. Would disconnected be the right word? A little bit?
Yeah, I think so, because we were doing same thing for too long, even though it was working well, but I lost interest.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to work like this. Then I also was in my mindset, like, I want to do something else, I want to change. So I started to travel a lot, and my personal life had a lot of change. So all the circumstances were like craving for change.
It's like the brand was still the same, but everything else around it was different.
Yes,
you were different, your lifestyle was different, the world was different.
Yeah. And then my partner at that time, she wanted to quit, because also I wasn't there like as I used to before, and the things didn't go as smoothly as before. And she thought I lost interest, which actually was the case. But then I was about to move to live in a different country, and it didn't work out. So I came back, and I realized that I have nothing else to do but this. So I pushed myself to keep working and restructure everything. That's how linen came into the picture. We found this super fine linen, very thin, and it was really something new, and I felt like, okay, why not give it a try? Just one last chance.
Yeah. And you hadn't worked with linen up until this point?
Not really.
Not really. And linen is quite. Ukraine produces linen, right?
Well,
no?
Before, yes.
Yes.
Now, not anymore. There was never like a huge Ukrainian linen production, but we had the fields that were growing linen.
Okay, the growing of the linen. Yeah, because it feels like, in my mind, I feel like historically linen
sure.
is very present, like in the culture, in the
They used to grow linen, sun dry it, and make it at home as a fabric back in the days in Ukraine.
Yeah, so there's that historical and cultural connection as well.
Yeah.
And so then you decide to create a collection around it?
We did first collection that wasn't, I mean, the linen was so thin that it took a lot of time to actually make it work, because it kept, like we had a lot of challenges with the production.
So this thinness, or was it even thin? Yeah, okay,
thinness.
yeah.
But how you stitch it, how you make a pattern so it doesn't rip, like with the movement or with a lot of like we had a lot of challenges before we reached the desired product.
And so what changed when you began working with linen?
You know, the thing is, because you know how much I love to travel, and I always felt like I need a piece that is always working, whether I'm going to, I don't know, south of France or Ibiza or Mykonos. It has to be, you know, one piece, because it's always like completely different setup of clothes. And
you didn't want to like have to change your entire suitcase every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like introducing a little details to this linen exact look, it would make a difference, and it would save space in my luggage. So me, I enjoyed it. I admired like this approach. I'm like, okay, it works, and also it's timeless pieces. I never wanted to do collections. You can introduce new colors, you can introduce something new, but the piece that was created from the first collection, you can still wear, and nobody would say, "Oh, it's."
So which piece is that?
This is.
It's this set.
Yeah.
No.
We have more. Actually, all the line, most of the line is
the first collection.
Maybe only one piece that we didn't follow up with because it wasn't the best. Let's say cut. The rest are
but
still. But
everything else remained. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. So basically it came from a practical, again, useful need of what can I pack with me all the time? And then, I mean, everyone feels good wearing linens, right?
Yes.
And we will get into that. But basically from like as an observer, what it felt like is as if the brand was getting a second life, you know? So in a way, even though it had been the same brand, it was this new collection, this new vision, this new creative direction. And at this point, it was just you, right? Or your partner was still in the business?
No, there was another. It was not a long partnership, but it was my friend that we had an idea to do linen brand together. But because of all the challenges that we were facing, as I mentioned,
the technical part.
The technical part, she quit straight away.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, I don't believe in it. I'm like, yeah, but like you have to give it a chance. And she was like, no, I don't believe in it. Sorry, she had cold feet, so she quit straight away.
Well, it's not a bad thing, right? To have like honesty and to make sure your partner is like...
We didn't have an issue. That's the thing. And I'm like, let's sit down because you see it took off. So I feel like you also were part of it. So we have to... But she's like, no. Let's see. Maybe we're gonna come back to this conversation one day with her, and something gonna change.
Why not? And so, how long did it take actually to overcome the technical challenges?
A year.
A year.
Yeah. Because you need to wash it many times, don't dry, you know.
So true.
Also, then when you change something in a pattern, it's again the same thing. So you can like, for me, a year is a fair time, especially if you don't have like this crazy big production.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a team of artisans.
Yeah, experimenting.
And I'm the one who is like taking the final decision if it's good to go or not. So I'm never in a rush to sell. I'm more like, okay, let's gift, let's try on, let's wear ourselves, and then when something is not working, I'm trying to make it work. And my partner at that time, she didn't believe in it. She's like, it's not working, no. So, yeah.
Yeah, you need to believe, you need to have the passion, the patience, the conviction. It's all about persistence.
Yeah.
I'm now looking at this garment in a very different way. I'm like trying to see. I mean, when you look at the pieces, you can tell that there's a lot of technique in it, even though, you know, I don't have the experience that you have. But it's always so fascinating to hear the stories of
Yeah.
what makes it
But if you
complicated.
think of it, if not this year of trials and constant work on every piece, it wouldn't be that special.
Exactly. That's what makes it special.
Yeah.
And so, it feels good wearing linens, right? I think no one can argue against that. I've never heard anyone not be happy wearing linens in the heat. So you've been quite vocal about the frequency of, well, the virtues of the fabric lately. Yeah, can you explain a little bit more about that and like some of the research that happened, what you discovered, and what it actually means?
So it started when I walked in Victoria Beckham's store in Mayfair, and it was such an interesting, good sensation. I felt like home in a store I've never been before, and I saw all these big crystals. Like one of the biggest pieces was like huge amethyst, and I asked them what it is, and they said, "Oh, Victoria brought this piece all the way from LA because it's so special, and if you feel the sensation of grounding, this is it." I was like, what? I mean, I heard obviously about crystals and all that, but I didn't know it can work as good.
Yeah.
That you step in and you feel how environment changes, and you really feel grounded, home, very at peace. Even though they didn't have my sizes, I spent there maybe 2 hours trying everything. I just didn't want to leave, you know. And after that, I started to look into it, studying crystals, frequencies, Vastu, because Feng Shui was the thing I knew before, but Vastu is a deeper understanding of this balancing environment with vibration, and it's a long story. And I started to attract more people with this knowledge in my life, telling me how things worked and making me understand that anything, like, I mean, I knew it from before, but I didn't really pay as much attention to it, that everything has a vibration in the universe, right?
Yeah.
From physical things to emotion, thoughts, everything has a vibration. And on the travel from London to Ibiza, I met my friend who also was like telling me about crystals and other materials that have very high vibration, that makes you feel good, that makes you even heal, like if your body is sick. And then she called me and she's like, "But do you know what else has very high frequency? Is linen. And you have a linen brand, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "So you've been subconsciously doing like what you're now looking to do."
Yeah, yeah.
So you've been all like, she's like, "Just check it out. Each time when you were wearing linen, how you felt." I was scrolling through my pictures, me wearing Atelier Handmade, obviously. But also, to be fair, I was always wearing it on vacation. And of course, you feel great
Yes, yes.
on vacation. Yeah, so back then I wasn't convinced because, okay, it's vacation, as I said. So wearing linen on vacation, of course, you feel great. Whatever you're wearing on vacation, you're going to feel great. And that's when I started to experiment with bed linens. Because when you have it at home and it's 100% linen and you sleep every night, whether you're feeling better in the morning or not. So far, like even my husband that does not believe in it, he told me like, "What are these bed linens? Like there's something special about them. I always feel much rested sleeping in linen bed sheets." So that's how the idea of bed linens and sleepwear came to my mind. It elevates your vibration.
Yeah.
Because vibration of linen is higher, very high, so it helps your body to vibrate on higher frequency.
Do you think people underestimate, and we're going a little bit off topic here, but do you think people underestimate the power of the fabric itself, especially when people are wearing things that are not so sustainable?
Yeah, I think it's just lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, weren't you there when you just liked the cute dress?
Yeah.
And you didn't care what it's made of.
Yeah.
Would you buy it now?
But
Definitely
even,
not
yeah,
wearing it.
even so, it doesn't feel good, right?
Yeah, it feels wrong.
It feels wrong.
Yeah.
I think now people have more of this awareness in terms of the impact for the planet, but also the way it feels for yourself. Okay, so now I want to move to another chapter, which came in, I think, somewhere along this timeline after probably you had established the linen, that chapter had begun, and then the motherhood, pregnancy chapter came into the picture.
Yeah, which is very much aligned with linen. With the first child, I didn't know about frequency yet, but I knew about, I was all about organic things.
Yeah.
Makeup, food, only homegrown, and obviously materials.
Yeah.
When you're pregnant, you don't want to wear polyester.
Of course not.
Like, it's just because your body is not feeling great when you do it.
Yeah.
So,
and your intuition is heightened, so you're really listening to.
Yeah, so I was wearing my linen that I created also according to the purpose of timeless design, because I didn't want, with my first pregnancy, I was very dedicated to sustainability. I was challenging myself for like zero shopping for 30 days and all that. It was more about sustainability than frequency, because I had I didn't have knowledge back then yet, and I was creating pieces that I could wear while pregnant and could wear after.
Yeah.
So a lot of stretchy.
I remember very well. You were being quite creative and playful with it, which was really nice to see. Like, I remember specifically how you were, first of all, glowing. You were having fun with your outfits, and it was clearly not maternity clothing. Like, you were, choosing items that were stretchy or items that you could like tie around with a little belt under the belly. And you told me, I want to make sure I don't buy anything that is maternity specific. And in addition to all of that, for me, you broke this myth that pregnancy has to be a creative work life pause where you're just defined by being pregnant in that moment, because you were absolutely not. You were being productive, you were traveling, you were being creative. So what was that time for you? What was it like?
I think this period is the most, when you stop from everything, like you don't travel as much, you don't socialize as much, and you just dedicated to yourself, to nurturing your body. So you slow down, you pause, and you, from this place, that's where creativity and fulfillment and resourceful period starts, because you do something not because like you're on a flow of current of things, but because you slow down, look inside, and let happen whatever whatever comes from it. So each pregnancy I was I think more dedicated to myself than work or anything else. And all the things that were happening were just coming out of that place. So you just look inside how you feel and let it happen. Some things work, something not, but mostly they do, because it's coming from the true
the right place.
From the right place.
I do want to talk about what happens after the postpartum chapter. I think there is, times are changing, so there is more story sharing around this, but still not enough, right? You never know until you go through this experience. So I wanna share part of your story around that. What happened? How did you feel? And how did you come out of it? What was that experience?
Well, I cannot say that it was Like postpartum for me is just like dedication to the baby. It's when you don't put yourself on the first place anymore, when everything that you wear, you pause it, and you just there dedicated to nurture the baby. And if you're not, you feel you're doing something wrong. So it's like, what I think is my personal experience. It was the only thing that I'm like, okay, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm not quite sure who you are at that moment when you're breastfeeding every 3 hours, and all you think is, what shall I do? How can I plan to make him feel better? And you're dedicated to the baby. But then when you're getting out of it, and you see the result of your work with the baby, that he's growing on its own, he doesn't need as much your time to be dedicated to him. That's the time when you start to align with yourself again and get to reconsider like what you wear. And it's a very nice transformation, because you're like, okay, this I own, this I'm not really sure it's me. Maybe I have to rethink it or work on myself and to see what actually fits me now. With it's like trying on what the package that was there before pregnancy, and you're like, that wasn't me. That was a bit of cheating. Oh, this is to myself. And then, so I cannot say it's a hard time or so. It's just transformation that is actually fun to do.
Yeah, it's a huge transition, probably the biggest transformation for a woman, physically, emotionally, in terms of like responsibilities that you start to have. And I like what you said. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just trying on and shedding off what doesn't need to be there anymore. Yeah. But you make it sound so easy, but I know that you're very dedicated to whatever you do. So I know that even from a personal growth perspective, you were dedicated to doing the work. You didn't take it lightly. You were quite serious about, okay, I'm growing, I'm changing, the world is growing, my world is changing. So what is some of the inner work or some of the changes in your mindset that you had to develop around this time that really changed the way you see yourself and you see the world today?
Well, I think the secret is just to be out of your comfort zone, whether it's a heartbreak, therapy, psychedelics, constellation, Burning Man. All this was putting me out of my comfort zone, and that's the best environment for self-growth. Postpartum, same. It's just more mild. Of course, one of the biggest punches was war. And it's still ongoing. So all bad that was happening to me served me good. Because of work. I cannot say that there was a tool that I'm like, I handled it. Each time is something else. It was much easier with just heartbreaks, I should say.
When before all of this happens, you think a heartbreak is the worst thing ever, and you're gonna die, and you can't handle it. And then you're like, oh, those were simpler times.
Exactly. And it's just the matter of like pattern, because when you out of your comfort zone and you pure, genuine, vulnerable, but true, this yourself knows. And as soon as you know, you feel like, okay, this is another level. And then you step up, and the universe sometimes brings this old experience, but you will never let it affect you same way as it used to affect before, just because it's new you. So, and each time you're stronger, like the bigger challenge comes to your life.
I'm like, oh, I thought
Again?
I was, yeah. You're like, I thought I was good. I thought I was sorted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
then the war was the hardest, let's say, hit that I'm still learning a lot from it. And I mean, you have to step out of your comfort zone to grow.
yeah,
If you don't do it yourself, you know, when you live normal life, then life just brings
life
you.
brings them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what would you say is the thing that you learned the most from the war?
I still haven't figured that out, to
No.
be honest, because I feel like the reveal of the real purpose of all that will come to me probably later on.
It's
But
too soon.
yeah, it's too soon.
Yeah, it's still happening. You're
Yeah,
still
but
impacted by it.
there are small things that I understood, but they are not the main. The main part. The main part is yet to come.
And how has it changed the way you approach, I mean, your life for sure, but also your business, because your business, the whole production, the whole team is based there.
Yeah, it's funny, but a human being can adjust to any
We can really adapt, yeah. We have this ability to adapt that when we're not in that situation, we think it's impossible.
Yeah.
And then once you're faced with it, the only way is to adapt. Yeah.
And that's the only way. And you know, like when I write emails to our partners, oh, there might be delays because of the bombing.
It's surreal.
For me, this is a normal life.
This is the new normal now.
Yeah, so I always tell all our stores, please make orders before New Year's so we can make sure that we can deliver it by March or April, because we don't know how the winter gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, we can be having blackouts, bombing, and even worse than this, you know.
Yeah.
So they all kind of also understand it now, and everybody is working, co-working and collaborating in our
the new way of doing things. But for sure it will have taught you a huge amount of flexibility. Because I mean, you did quite a big event for the brand last week here in Ibiza, and 2 days before I was checking in and you were like, I actually don't know if it's happening because the delivery, there's been bombing and the truck that's on the way hasn't made it yet. So it's...
Well, one of the things that I learned from war is plans are so... they're, how do you say, so not... so flaky.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that, like, if you have a plan, it's gonna happen.
The plans that we make, that we think are set in stone and have to happen because we decided, like, this is my plan, I put it on paper or in my vision board or whatever it is, therefore it has to happen. Yeah.
The only consistent is a change.
Yeah.
So I cannot really be focused on a day and say, okay, it's gonna happen, because production is in Ukraine, the logistic and everything. Quite challenging, so I didn't know until the last minute, and the collection arrived exactly the day of the event, and we didn't want to move it because there were so many things happening on the island that this date was working better for the store and for us. So we still made it happen.
You did.
Last minute.
Yeah. It's become your skill.
It's life now.
Making it happen, making things happen. And I want to wrap up with a couple of questions around how it's always a tricky way of, it's a tricky question, but essentially, how do you now approach your business and what you would define as success? You know, what feels good? What is good for you?
Well, before I was thinking that achievements will make me feel good about myself. But all the achievements, they fade, you know. It's like one-time thing, and then you don't even remember you have it.
So true.
Unless you remind yourself, oh, actually, yeah, I had it. Oh, like I did this and that. But it doesn't matter. I think when you really serve a good purpose, I always ask myself, what would I think about myself when I'm like 90-year-old, you know, mature lady looking back in her life, and what would I think about myself now? And I'm always trying to make this lady proud.
I love that.
Or at least not disappointed, like it's okay, you did okay.
Yeah. Because that really gives perspective of what really matters.
Yeah.
And with motherhood, has it also changed the way you approach things and the way you want to contribute?
Of course. The first contribution that I'm doing is I'm trying my best to grow the best human beings with good values and with something that hopefully will change.
Yeah. And again, you bring the same level of dedication to parenting as you bring to your business, as you bring to your friendships. And I think it's what you were describing just before, this being genuine and giving it your best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the last question, actually. What's a moment in your journey that still makes you feel emotional when you think back on it?
I think what we discussed, this moment of self-growth, when you know, I got it, and it's not many in your journey, you know, but you know
you can
exactly,
trace them.
Yeah. And this what stays with you and makes you who you are forever. And that's what gives you a real value of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think, these moments would be the most appreciated moments.
Yeah.
And appreciating any universe and circumstances and all the bad that was leading to it, and myself to did it well.
Yeah.
To do it well.
It's like these turning points that if you were to draw the timeline of your life, they would be on that timeline.
Yeah.
And they're definitely not the easiest. They're the hardest.
They are, but it gives you pleasure to overgrow all of it, you know?
Yeah.
Because if it was easy, it wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
But because you have to go through a lot of challenges, and then you like not knowing whether you're gonna make it or not, until the point you know you made it, and the sensation like, oh, all right,
I did it.
Let's go.
Let's go. We're set on a new path. We're ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the uncertainty of it is a big part of it, because you just don't know what's on the other side.
Yeah.
But now, I would say you're definitely on the other side of many of those turning points now.
Thank you, but I think there are a lot to come.
Of course, there are loads to come, but like seeing you like this, it's like you're living your life according to a lot of the lessons that you've learned from those moments.
Yes, I definitely do. But again, when something like war breaks into your life, this all doesn't make any good anymore, because it takes over, and I'm on a mission to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait that time when I will be like, oh, got it. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, and you're handling it and dealing with it so beautifully. I think it's also something that really I found so inspiring in the Ukrainian culture since the war broke. This resilience, but also this joy and passion for life, right? You were telling me about how in the early days they had set up even like manicure stations and facial spots in the parking lots underground, and it's like, yes, the war is happening, but we're not stopping our lives. We're still taking care of ourselves. We're still putting music on, drinking champagne.
They're cleaning the rumbles with a DJ set and music.
That's crazy.
Super inspiring.
Yeah,
very, very
inspiring.
Yet, unfortunately, but Ukrainians have it in them, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful way to end it. To always have this passion and joy for life,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was very nice.
Yes. Thank you. Mwah.